I am sharing this today because I've been reviewing old notebooks, and several times through multiple conversations with God, I've been instructed to share all of this journey: the good, the bad, the glorious, the fugly. It's come directly to me, and it's come through conversations with others in situations where they could hear it more than I could. For those of you who don't know me, for the past 16 years, I have been told that I am the messenger of God for this era. I did not ask for it. I do not want it. And yet here we are. And for the past 16 years, I have not believed it. Mostly because it seemed to me if I was, while folks are hollering at me to speak, I would have been supported. I've not, mostly. However, I'm going to try a little something new. Just for shits and grins. Today, I'm going to pretend I believe this. And I've kind of come to this because I asked myself the other day, what would change if I actually believed I was the voice of God, the messenger for this era? Later, a friend asked me, well, why not just believe? And my response to her, admittedly a bit probably short-sighted and self-deprecating or self-denying perhaps, was then I'm adopting an illusion that satisfies what others say I am. I have already lost nearly all autonomy. And then I'd, as in Ingrid, would be erased entirely because someone else said so. And in my own head, I know that if I just believed, I would try to be like every other preacher out there. I'd leave being myself behind to fit in and to be accepted, or to create some kind of framework for being how I think this thing is supposed to be, or rather how others think this thing is supposed to be. However, part of myself is that I often get fixated when I think there is only one way that things can possibly be. Sometimes two. So the past couple of days, I've been sitting with the idea of what if you tried believing while also being yourself? What if that is the whole point of all of this? What if? So here's what I've come to. If that's the case, I would say the following, along with other things, but I'm going to start here. This golden age that everyone keeps talking about, especially in spiritual circles, that's on its way. This new era is not about a shared human experience where everyone behaves a certain way that is pleasing to any one individual or any group or groups of individuals. It's not about others finding acceptable ways to fit your spiritual ideas and predilection. It's not this kind of thing where there's no war, there's no murder, there's no rape. We'll get to that later. But continuing, like there's this idea that there is, that this is Edenic, like a biblical Eden-like moment, a global kumbaya moment where clouds will part, angels will sing because the planets have aligned just right, and we'll all just get along. We won't be greedy because sharing is caring, and we will love the earth we inhabit. Granted, this is oversimplifying things, but this is the underlying message. Y'all, there have been as many golden age predictions as there have been the ends of days predictions. That's not what this is. We are, bless us, we are what people have always been. well before we became Sabians. We are people-y. People are people-y. Despite all of the scripture, despite our opposable thumbs and 3.5 pounds of gray matter sitting in our head. And despite our peopliness and this idea of golden age coming, most folks truly do not have the perspective to see how much of this is a golden era for life around the globe. I don't mean everywhere for everybody. I mean, on the whole, as previously fatal diseases and illness and poverty have lessened premature deaths, and human rights have been given a stronger foothold and actually taken as a truth. Things have changed. Things have changed so that Gaza and Venezuela and Sudan and murder on the high seas, thanks US, are the exception, not the rules like they used to be. And when one is not consumed by how you're going to eat, or how you're going to feed your family, or if your kids are going to survive being sick, or if you'll survive the next militaristic incursion, when you don't have those things, there is energy to consider and support one's neighbor. And in all of this, the definition of neighbor has changed. It's broadened significantly. So let me come back to like this golden era is not some collective, idealized, shared experience of meeting your, mine, or our expectations of us being right? Or them being, say, right in the head, right in the heart, right in the body. Like those people that we don't even want to really engage with because we have othered them. We just like judging them, right? We will want that as long as we are people-y. And we're never not going to be that. But that is not this. It's also not the last gasp of the patriarchy. In fact, we don't know what, quote, this is, or if there is a this. We might be breaking patterns of human behavior that include ideas of particular exceptionalism and more. Or we could just be making up another story to make it all make sense, because it doesn't make sense. There is something to be said about the fact that so many people around the globe share this same idea, this same sensation of a changing time at scale, and talking about it. Perhaps it's just wishful thinking, and perhaps it's not. We don't know. However, despite the fact that I doubt a lot, I mostly don't believe, although we're practicing it, despite God ensuring me that it doesn't lie, even if it shows up through the voice of Jesus, fronting like he's God, talking to me. I'm going to propose this, just for shits and grins. Or maybe more. I posit that this era is where the representation or the representative of the eternal harmony that informs or is the fabric of creation is recognized anew. Where reliance on script, all those scriptures and rules, becomes noted as historic myth that guided the masses for many years. And we put that script aside and decide that what got us this far cannot take us any further. I can think of no other reason for my being made if what I've been told the past 16 years is true. Mostly, I just dropped the creamer. Mostly because I can't see any other potential reason. Folks want there to be because we want to keep judging. I want there to be because I want my life to make sense. I want my purpose to be realized. But I know with a certainty, a very clear awareness that what we call God has no judgment. It does not judge. It cannot judge because it's not human and is merely the catalyst for creation, continued, incessant, eternal creation. So there's no other reason other than to support continued creation. And I think that's pretty close, if not spot on, because we are the only species who actively does not support creation. We actively destroy with will. I'm going to come back to something that says, I don't even know what it says. I'm rambling now, so I'm going to stop and make a part 2.